Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It is Easter Sunday as I film this, so I hope you're all having a good Easter or just enjoying the long weekend if you don't celebrate. I'm going to start by saying there are kids screaming a couple of houses down and they are so loud. Every time I think, oh, they're not that bad. Nope, they carry on screaming. At first I thought it was a cute Easter egg hunt. It's not. They're actually further away than the kids from the other week that were really loud, and they are louder. So I hope it's not too off-putting, but there's not much I can do with that. But in this video, I'm going to be doing my check-in as normal, cash stuffing, because I just got paid. So I've got £190 to cash stuff. If you are new here, I do a mix of cash, physical cash, and digital. So I'm going to use some placeholders to represent the money stuff digitally. And then I've got a little bit of money left to do savings challenges with. Not as much as I hoped, I'll be honest with you. And actually it's been quite a spendy week. So let's get into it and I'll show you where we're at. Okay, here we are in the diary. It was a spendy week last week. I'm just going to start by discussing something actually. My body has changed shape in the last couple of years. And a lot of my old clothes don't fit me like they used to. I don't feel comfortable in myself, if I'm honest. Being really honest, I've had issues with eating and I've not been very healthy in the past. And I'm really trying to get away from that mindset and just embrace where I'm at. But my clothes aren't fitting properly, and so I had to buy some new clothes. Luckily my style's been quite oversized in the past and still is, so a lot of my clothes are still fine, but they've become a bit worn. Like I just wear like loose shirts for work in the summer and they are all looking a bit worse for wear. Not all of them, quite a few of them. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. I think I'm going to need to replace my clothes. So that happened this week. With it being Easter, there were quite a few deals on. So I bought some bits and pieces. My toothbrush broke as well, annoyingly, just stopped working overnight. So I had to buy a new toothbrush. And also, what else happened? Me and my sister love watching Gladiators on BBC. I was a child of the 90s, so I used to watch the originals. And she comes around every weekend and we watch it. And we love it. And we tried to get tickets to watch the filming of the live shows and we just didn't get them. So when they announced that they were doing a tour, we got tickets. I'm not sure how great these tickets are. I'm not sure how great this tour will be, but it's a lifelong thing. I'm going to go and I'm going to get a big pointy finger and I'm going to have the best time. So that also happened this week. So let's get into day by day actually, but I just thought I'd preface it with it has been spendy. So last Sunday, after I filmed, I went to... Sorry, it's quite noisy. I went to Sainsbury's and here we have the first of me buying some clothes. That was unbudgeted. There was 20% off. So I didn't go in with the intention of spending, but there we are. Hang on, I've done that wrong. That's not right. Right, I've worked it out. That shouldn't have been £20.40. That was £28.40. That was on some jeans and some pyjama bottoms. And now I'm wondering if the rest of this is going to add up because I think I did this. It came to 49. And I don't think these numbers are going to add up to 49. Let me grab my calculator. Here is the danger of not adding up as I go along. What actually happened was I bought 3 pairs of jeans. No, I didn't. I bought 2 pairs of jeans, 1 pair of pyjama bottoms, and I've returned the jeans. So in my head, I couldn't quite keep track of what I'd spent. But anyway, I've worked this all out. £28.40 was on a pair of jeans and some pyjamas. £17.15 was on an Easter egg for Nick and a little Easter chick toy for Wilbur. So that came out of my miscellaneous gift sort of money. And then £2.45 was on some groceries. We bought some bits for tea. So that was £2.45 in Sainsbury's. Then on Monday, £18 in Sainsbury's. I bought another pair of jeans while there was 20% off. That was unbudgeted, if I'm honest. It was before Payday, so it sort of came out of my buffer with the intention of paying it back. And then on the way home, I stopped and got petrol, which was £26. So it was a bit more than normal, which then reflects on why I don't have quite as much to cash stuff into my savings challenges, which is a bit annoying, but we are where we are with that. Tuesday, Payday. So we have the £61 on Ticketmaster for those tickets that I mentioned. That was unbudgeted. That came out of another pot, and I am going to pay myself back for that. £3.50 in Co-op. That was on a meal deal. So that came out of my work pot. And then £56.10 in H&M. Annoyingly, when I bought these bits in H&M last weekend, at the till, the guy was like, have you got any deals? Checked it all on my reward app. No, I didn't. Literally, like the next day, they had 15% off. So I was just going to leave it. It was about £6 I would have saved. But then I saw another top that I liked and bought. So I have repurchased what I bought originally, plus this extra top. And I'm going to return this £37.98. I'm probably going to do that tomorrow actually, but that meant £56.10 was unbudgeted. As I said, it was payday, so the money was there, it's fine, but that technically was unbudgeted. Next day, £41.83 in Amazon. That was to replace my toothbrush. I have sold some bits on Vinted recently, so whilst this was unbudgeted, I'm going to pull the money. I've got £23 I think on Vinted, so I'm going to pull that when it all clears to go across to Amazon. I actually asked a question on Instagram whether it's worth, I've got a lot of jumpers to get rid of that I'm going to put on Vinted, and I think consensus was, well, it was a bit mixed. Either just whack it up because there's no harm, you don't get charged anything to list, or keep it until it's in season and then people will possibly pay a bit more. So I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, it was unbudgeted, but again, it came out of my bank and there's a plan to pay that back. And then £2.70 in Co-op. This was on some Pepsi Max for work. Thursday, £3.60 in Tesco's. That was on some toothpaste and something else. That was some groceries after work anyway. £25.08 on Look Fantastic. My what was it, my night cream is coming to an end. I'm pleased though actually, because that's normally, I'm sure it's gone up because it was not this price when I first bought it, but that's gone up to £39 for a pot. But I found a refill. They're now doing refills, so they are slightly less, and then there was an extra discount code, so it was £25.08 instead of 39 to replace that. And then 99p on Amazon. I finished the book I was reading and I wanted something a bit springy, so I bought a book that was on offer on Amazon. Friday is where things get bad. I went to town because this was another thing, actually, I didn't mention this at the beginning. Another thing that went wrong this week. I went spinning on Sunday. On the way home, realised that my trousers had a hole in right under my bum. When I first got these trousers, I got off the bike and caught them on like the dial to adjust the seat. So I ripped through the first bit of lining and then they just went. So to be fair on them, they lasted a couple of years since that happened, 18 months. So I went into town to buy a new pair, and then I ended up having a wander around, which I don't tend to do anymore. But it was just me on my own. Nick's been away for the weekend, so I just thought I'd have a wander. I bought some trousers in Next that were £26. I bought a t-shirt from M&S for £17.50. When did t-shirts get so expensive, guys? I know like plain ones are not that expensive. Well, I say that. They can still be like a tenner just for a plain one. But like I quite like the oversized ones with like a print on, and they're like upwards of £20. It's insane. But I got one for £17.50 from M&S. £32 in Sports Direct was on those trousers that I replaced. That was unbudgeted. That just came out. That didn't come out of a pot. But you'll see here I have a refund from Sainsbury's of these jeans from that day. From Monday that I ordered. So I've actually put that money across to partially pay back this. I need another colour for like refunds. Let's use this green here. Yeah, so that's partially paid. So what does that leave? £14 left to pay. So it's not too bad. Sainsbury's, my sister came around for tea. I bought some groceries. Yeah, I think that was everything from Sainsbury's, £9.50. Tesco, while I was out, I got some groceries again. What did I get? You guys don't really need to know my grocery shop, do you? But I bought some bits from Tesco, and then Greg's. This was also unbudgeted. I bought a sandwich and a sausage roll for me and Wilbur. So that was unbudgeted. Then yesterday, £8.30 in Tesco. That was unbudgeted. Oh, it's been a really bad week, hasn't it? And then 16p in Sainsbury's. That did come out of my groceries. The trouble was I'd sort of moved some money around, and I know I've gone over my £15 a week digital groceries, which is why they then sort of become unbudgeted. But that's where we're at. Today is Easter Sunday. I'm hoping for a no spend, and then next week will be better. So into my incredibly grubby looking Saffiano. We are just going to empty everything from last week. So Beauty was empty. It gets £50 a month, but as I said, I've spent that £25, and I also paid back myself for the makeup sponges I bought in Primark and something else. So it would have been getting £50. It's actually got £14.72 left in my Starling. So I'll just pop in 15 in placeholders to last me the rest of the month. It goes so quickly, doesn't it? Eating out is getting 25 this week. It is book club on Tuesday, and I'll be using that for that. Fun gets £100 for the month, but I've already spent some bits. So there is currently £56.50 in my Starling for that. I'm just going to put £55 in placeholders in there. Groceries had £10 left last week, so I'll pop that to one side, and it is getting £30 for the week. And then petrol has some change that I'll get to in a minute, but that is getting £30 for the week ahead. So the change that I have left is everything. Yes, I have got £5.32, and I'm probably just going to put this 2p back in actually, because when I get petrol next week, no my luck, I'll go over by a penny. So let's pop that back in. And that is everything in the Saffiano. So now moving into my more digital spends, I've got some pots here to stuff. So Botox is getting skipped. Days Out is getting skipped. My Effort Fund getting skipped. When I pay back for my Gladiator tickets, I'll probably use this one for that. Gifts, not getting anything this week. Hair is getting 35. I've got my hair appointment tomorrow, so that means I've got 50, 70, 90, £105, which I'm hoping is enough. She's well, you can't even really tell when it's an actual salon with a website, can you? But she's self-employed. She's got a room, so it's hard for me. Well, it's hard to keep track of what the price is, but that's what it's been the last few times, so I'm just going to go with that. Home was my health fund. That got £10 for the month, but I bought that day nurse earlier in the week, so I just paid myself back, so that's empty. Nick is left where it is on 60. Yep, £60. His birthday is next month, so we'll get that to 100 for them. And then Pets is getting left as it is. So that is everything cash stuffed for next week. So finally moving into my savings challenge binder, I have got fill the dots first. So let's roll that and hope for something kind. Actually, let's do Candy Skies, because I'll work out what I need in change for that. I need £4 for Candy Skies. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, next up, 4. Do I want to put my... I'll have to put the £4 coins in there. Right, that's Candy Skies done. And then next week will be £6. So nearly finished with that. I can't wait. Right, Dilly Dally, fill the dots. Oh dear. Let's hope for something small. A 1 would be really nice, wouldn't it? Where's my dice? Oh, 5. Okay. 5 is this turquoisey colour. I think it's this one. 5. Okay. What shall I do? Let's put in this 10 and take out £5 in coins. Let's do that. That's £5 in coins, £10 in there, and then I'm going to swap that to... No, I'm not. I'm going to see what I get with the bunny tails, and then I think I'll put the rest in hot cross buns. Right, heads or tails, let's flip a coin. Let's do this to 10p. Pray for a... I did that too early. Pray for a head. What a rubbish flick. It's gone off the desk. Oh, guys, that was awful. Right, heads or tails, let's see what I get. Now I look like I fixed it. Hang on. I've done this too many times now. Right, I'm going to flip the coin, and whatever we get, we get. I can't do it. Head. That's what I wanted. £1 into there. Okay. That's my... I just cannot get the colours right on this. That's £1 into there. What shall we do now? Let's get hot cross buns. Let's put in this £4 into hot cross buns, because Easter is today, so I just would like that gone. So then we'll have £2 left to do next week. 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 more things that I need to do in here. We also have to do pages to pounds, because I finished another book this week. I finished The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, which we did for book club. That was 380 pages, so that's £3.80 I need to put in my starling when I can find my pen. £3.80. This was the third Beth O'Leary book we read, I think. We've done the Flat Share and we did one other one. So the Flat Share was a TV show, and the Road Trip also got made into a TV show on Paramount Plus. I like the TV show, I like the book, but the book, I feel like it meant that the TV show, they just miscast the main character for me. Having read the book after seeing the show, like I just had the actress in my head, and it kind of spoiled it. The actor who played the main guy, I think, was spot on, and they changed some other bits, and they fully changed them, so that's, I could get my head around that. But yeah, just the main actress didn't really work for me, but it's still a nice light rom-com book. It's not my favourite one that she's done. I think I did prefer the Flat Share and the one, was it called The Switch? I think it might have been called The Switch. I like that one too. But yeah, that was that I finished this week. So I think I've got about £35 in here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more books to read. So in a couple of months, I should have that one done. And then finally, I just need to pop in my Lily Rain Designs and Babes at Budget Shop challenges. So I've only got one wallet. Let me find another one. Let's pop these in ready. And then I'll just show you the designs for the next month. So we've got this little April bunny one from Babes at Budget Shop. So every chocolate bunny is £5 and every egg is £2, and that saves a total of 40. So I'll get started on that one next week when hopefully I'll have a bit more change. And then Lily Rain Designs, I'm going to do each icon as £1 again, saving a total of £16. So let's write that in now. Pop that in. So that's that one done and ready to go next week. As I say, I'm hoping to finish hot cross buns and then I can really start on these, because they're not looking great, are they? That's that. And then finally, we've got this 30p to put into my savings tin. So let me just grab that. Do I have a straight 30 I can cross off? Yes, I do. Pop that in there now. And cross that off. I think I counted and there was about £2 left to go. So I may cheat and use that £2 out of Esther's hot cross buns and just pop it in here, because I'm ready to be done with this one. And that was everything. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm aware that my savings challenge binder is not going as well as I'd hoped. When I did the autumn one last year, I managed to save so much money, but I think that Violet Moon Budgets challenge being in there, Candy Skies, is just a bit of a tie, because I'm just always aware that I've got to put the money in for that. Plus I didn't have the monthly ones when I was doing it in autumn last year. But here we go. It'll be worth it in the end when I've saved some money up. But yes, I hope you are all well. I hope your budgets are all on track. Let me know how your Easter is going and what you're up to today. I'm about to go to Mum's for a roast dinner with Mum and my sister. And then I'm going to come home and I just sit on the sofa and eat some chocolate. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I hope you're all well, and I hope you'll join me again for another video next week.